to the MTT Podcast. I'm Super Dave. The journey to playing at the upper ranges of your ability consistently under pressure in the biggest moments is tough. A lot of the times, most of the time, almost every week, I get calls about confidence. Today's podcast is all about confidence and what it takes to be confident. I'm super excited to talk to you about this today. I'm super excited to walk you through how to build confidence. I like to say that if you don't plan to win, you're planning to fail. So let's get into it. What are the 9 power sources to confidence? Number 1, achievement. Number 2, preparation. Number 3, self-regulation. Number 4, modeling. Number 5, feedback and encouragement. Number 6, coach leadership. Number 7, environmental comfort. Number 8, physical presentation. And number 9, situational favoriness. So let's talk about number 1, achievement. So before we get into that, let me just lay some foundation here about confidence. When we're playing at the upper range of our ability consistently under pressure in the biggest moments, it doesn't really matter what league we're at, whether we're in the NHL, AHL, ECHL, or SPHL, USHL, it really doesn't matter. So if you're a hockey player, male or female playing, we need confidence. We need confidence to do anything really in life. So it really transcends being a hockey player as well. So let's talk about achievement. So achievement is about improvement of existing skills, mastering of new skills, demonstrating ability, winning, goal attainment. When we're in a fixed mindset, achievement is hard. But when we are in a growth mindset, achievement becomes easier. So in a growth mindset, we're looking at what is it that I can do better, right? And so mastering of new skills, if there's what I call FLAP, fear, lust, anger, pride, then we don't really look at new skills as a thing. It's all about not failing, which is not building confidence. So when we're mastering new skills, we're actually in a growth mindset, not a fixed one. And so as we go through these, I just want to encourage you to take maybe 1 or 2 of these and work on them this week. So if there's a new skill that we want to work on, but we have this fear of failure, think about being in a growth mindset and going to practice with the idea that, hey, I'm going to fail today, but I want to learn today. Now, I get that that can be tough, especially if you're in an environment where the coach doesn't appreciate failure. So in order to build on this, we have to set it up. We have to say, hey, coach, I'm going to try a new skill. I need some help with this. I'm trying to have a growth mindset. I want to be able to be a better hockey player. What are some things I need to do? Whether it's work on my 1T, whether it's skate faster, whether it's skate harder, 3 hard quick strides, be stronger in the corners. Be open to the idea that, hey, I want to work on my achievement. Now, how does this build confidence? Well, let's think this through. If you are trying a new skill and we've communicated with coach that, hey, I'm going to work on, say, 3 hard quick strides today. Coach knows this. We're trying something new. After we've done that, we know we're going to fail a couple times. That's okay. But afterwards, okay, let's take a week of this. How are we going to feel? We're going to feel great. We're going to feel like we've accomplished something when we learn a new skill. And this is where your power source of confidence comes in and say, hey, I didn't know this skill. I never really did 3 hard quick strides before. Now I have this new skill. I've performed it well, and I'm ready to take it on into a game. This is where the confidence comes. If we stay in the lane of not trying something new, then it actually diminishes our confidence. So being flexible and in a growth mindset for achievement will build confidence. Number 2, preparation. Preparation includes physical conditioning, mental preparation, quality training, practice strategies, and executing a game plan. When we are prepared, we will have confidence. So whenever I do my workshops, I kind of joke like, hey man, if you put on your headphones 15 minutes prior to the game, you're going to be more confident. Well, that's what everybody does, and it actually is not a mental skill at all. It's not preparation at all. So, but when we're physically prepared and conditioning, like we're going into the rink an hour and a half, 2 hours early, we're sitting in the stands and we're walking through the neutral zone, offensive zone, defensive zone of how we're skating, how we're feeling, what kind of pass we're getting, whether it's a saucer pass, a hard pass, a soft pass, we receive it on our backhand, forehand, whether we shoot in stride, we take a couple, we dust off the puck a couple times, then we shoot. This is all part of your preparation when going into a game or practice. I've seen players do this before practice, which is super powerful. So also when we're conditioned physically, now there is a certain cadence that your strength and conditioning coach is giving you each week in terms of physical conditioning that we need to be doing. I've seen a lot of elite athletes after the game get on an assault bike or a rower. Honestly, like game day is actually a day off. If you look at that, you're playing 60 minutes, but you're only going, game's 60 minutes long, but you're only going maybe 12 minutes. Over a 2-hour period, you're really not physically conditioning yourself during a game. So, if you're doing that for 2 or 3 weeks, where you're doing assault bike or rowing or running after the game, you're going to be more physically fit. It's just another day of conditioning. A lot of elite athletes do that. They go the extra mile. So we look at our preparation, you think back, wow, I've practiced longer, I've conditioned after the game. I'm prepared. I've been to the, mentally prepared 2 hours before the game. I got to the rink, I sat on the bench and I visualized myself shooting, passing, scoring. If I'm a goalie, I visualize, the puck hitting my blocker going into the corner, right? I've done some visualization exercises. I've prepared, in addition to what was my normal preparation, now is a totally different preparation. When we're preparing like this, we're building confidence. So we got 2, achievement and preparation of the 9. Let's talk about self-regulation. Self-regulation is the use of self-management skills to maintain focus, regulate thoughts and emotions, engage in pre-competition routines, and implement focus plans. All right, so self-regulation gets into this space that I like, and we'll have a resource in the comment section called high and low EI. Okay, so when I'm high EI, I'm self-regulating myself. Now, players have been with me for any number of years, even a season. They know about high and low EI with me, but let me just give you kind of a summary of what that is. When I'm high emotional intelligence, if somebody punches me in the face, I look to the referee, I see he's not looking, right? And I skate on, get his number, skate on, I'm high EI. If I'm skating up ice and a player punches me in the face and I immediately retaliate and punch him back, I'm actually called low EI. So low emotional intelligence. In other words, I'm a slave to my emotions versus a master to my emotions. Now, this takes a considerable amount of time to be able to work through your high and low EI. There's a lot of mindfulness and awareness that needs to happen for you to be high EI. There are different circumstances and situations that we just don't know we're getting into in a hockey game that we could become a slave to our emotions. Now, I'm just going to give you, and again, I will put this in the discussion. There are 6 warning signs that you become a slave to your emotions. So number 1, you rarely think about others and only think about your own concerns or interests. So when we are a slave and low EI, it's all about ourselves. Now, if you were in a conference or a webinar with me, I would actually ask this question, and I ask this question all the time of players, and very rarely do they get it right. But if I were to take the lowest of low EI situation, it would be on the power play when we have possession of the puck in the offensive zone. Okay, so we're in the offensive zone, on the power play, and we're moving the puck around, and you take a penalty. Okay, this is, you rarely think of others and think about your own, you think about yourself and your own concerns. So this tells me that you're really not in it to win it. You don't believe, if you take a penalty on the power play, you're really about yourself, and you're thinking about not your teammates or your organization or your coaches. So that's one example of low EI. We don't want to be low EI, right? We want to be high EI. We want to build to the team, to the organization. We want to be in control of our emotions so that we can play at the upper range of our ability, consistently under pressure in the biggest moments. Number 3, you campaign to get people on your side when you immediately speak your mind. Okay, this is when you're a slave to your emotion. How many people have you dragged into your situation after you've been low EI, trying to campaign to get people on your side? Number 4, your actions don't help your situation or the people around you. Number 5, you are stressed and have trouble sleeping. If you have a situation where you're not sure if it was low or high EI or not, and you can't sleep at night, guess what? You're low EI. All right, that's a good one. You take criticism as a personal attack and don't like change. This is back to a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. So in a growth mindset, you take criticism. You want criticism. You want to be better. You have a craving to be better. Okay, in a fixed mindset, somebody gives you criticism and you're all offended really easily. I love doing a show of hands. How many show of hands where have a player in a team that gets offended really easy? He's in the penalty box all the time. These players suck the emotions out of us. It's just not fun to be around them. All right, so these are the 6 warning signs you become a slave to your emotions. All right, so this is back to self-regulation. So when we're able to self-regulate and we're able to be high EI, and we can look back and reflect in a post-game debrief in a good, better, best situation and say, you know what? That player punched me in the face. I didn't retaliate. He got a penalty. We got in a power play. We scored. This builds confidence. That's exciting, man. That's pretty easy. Behaviorally, this is pretty easy to talk about, but I will say, and for me, it's inspiring. It's really hard to execute, and it does take time. Number 4, modeling. Modeling is something when I played back in 1994, 98, we really didn't have YouTube. It didn't exist. And so being able to see other players is tough. If we're really low in our confidence, one way to increase it is find the best player, or a player that you really enjoy, your best player, a player you really enjoy watching, and watch them. There's easy to get clips at the NHL level, the NCAA Div 1 level, and even the ACHA level of people that you like to watch them and say, you know what are they doing? I could do that too. You go out to practice and you do some of the skills that they do, and all of a sudden you build confidence. My son actually plays at North Star Christian Academy, and we incorporated modeling into his daily routine, and it actually built confidence for him. He was so excited about, he wanted to play like this certain player, and he's now doing that, and it's very exciting for him to say, you know what, I can play like this guy. So modeling. Number 5, feedback and encouragement. If you ask for feedback, people will give you feedback. Again, if we're in a growth mindset, this will build confidence. If you're in a fixed mindset, it won't build confidence. So feedback and encouragement. Now, some of the bigger players that I coach at the NHL level and Division I level, there's a lot of press out there about how they play. You got to be careful about, what you listen to there. But also, you got to be appreciative of that feedback and encouragement. That will build confidence. Number 6, coach leadership. Coach leadership is about belief in a coach's leadership and decision-making skills. If you believe in your organization and your coach, this will give you confidence. Coach tells you to do something, you go do it, it works. This also falls in the line of building trust. Now I'm going to kind of pause here for a second and talk about trust. For every 1 trust tax, okay, we need 7 trust dividends to be in a trustworthy situation. Okay, so let's break this down. What the heck does that mean? Let's break it down. So if I know my coach, if I'm a defenseman, let's say, and I know my coach wants to go east-west with the puck, and I go north and south with the puck, I'm actually building a trust tax. Okay? So I need to know where my coach wants me to do, where my coach wants me to be, how I need to play the puck. If I do that, I will be in a trustworthy situation. Some players that I talk to over the course of a season, they find themselves as a 7th or 8th defenseman, or the 14th or 15th, sometimes 16th forward. And as we know, those players don't get a whole lot of minutes. And so one of the things that we tackle is being in a trustworthy situation. If we don't know how the coach wants us to play the puck, we're going to be in a trust tax situation. So it may be that in your coaching leadership, in your confidence, you're in a tax deficit, not in a trust dividend situation. So that's something to look at. Environmental comfort. Feelings of comfort in a competitive environment such as pool, field, or gymnasium. So number 7 on our 9 power sources of confidence is the environmental comfort. When we are in a home game situation, we are more comfortable. There's plenty of sports psychology journals now out there that verify that playing home does have an advantage because we're familiar with our comfort. We're familiar with our environment, and therefore we feel comfortable. Now, I'm going to slow this down for a second. A lot of us, no matter what level you've been playing at, you've been to the same rink over and over and over again, whether it's home or away. So are there images on the internet of this particular venue that you can front load in your mental preparation? I would say the answer is yes. Can we become more familiar with our environments in a away situation? The answer is yes. The question is, are you doing that? That's something that you can work on to build your confidence. Environmental comfort, number 7. Number 8, physical self-presentation, body image, physical perception of oneself, and feelings regarding physical appearance. So this one is a powerful one. Like a lot of us are in shape, we feel good, but we really don't look to ourselves to say, you know what, I'm in shape, I do feel good. Where am I at in my physical presentation of myself, right? That builds confidence. As you get older, that's not necessarily the case. So providing an attitude, building an attitude of gratitude of where you're at actually builds confidence. When we're injured, it's kind of a little bit of a side note, when we're injured and we have an attitude of gratitude, there's something that happens physiologically to the body, and it actually opens up a growth mindset, which then triggers the limbic side of the brain of feelings. So we feel better about where we're at, that we actually heal faster. I can provide that sports psychology journal as well, where the journal proves that gratitude does help you build confidence, but also recover quicker. So physical self-preservation. Number 9, last one, and we're going to wind down here. So situational favoredness, breaks or momentum in a game or situation in one's favor. So we've seen games, we've been in games where the puck just bounces our way, that actually builds confidence. So if we're getting into a situation where we don't feel confident, we can look back and reflect in a good, better, best situation. So what was good? What could have been better? How could I perform at my best as it relates to situational favorableness? So when we look back and go, you know what? The puck bounced my way during this game. I was able to skate faster or receive the puck quicker or get the puck off my stick faster. I was able to have a 1T. I was ready to get all of my blade on the 1T because the puck was just going my way. This actually builds confidence. It actually also allows for us to build a great visualization, preparation plan of thinking through those times where we were in a situationally favorable situation. All right, so it was favorable. So a little bit of redundancy there. I'm sorry, but so this is it. The 9 power sources to confidence. Going through these, what I love about this is that confidence is not something that is just going to come and go as we please. It's something that we can build on from week to week so that we can be confident. Now, I love to talk about the difference between confidence and arrogance. So I get that a lot. Well, I don't want to be arrogant. I want to be confident. And so when we look at arrogance is actually a player who amplifies something that they're not. When you're confident, you don't really need to amplify it in terms of telling everybody about it. So let me back up. Amplification would be that I'm basically boasting and telling everybody how great I am. When we're confident, we can have this silence about us that we just execute well. So if you find yourself boasting and telling other people about your situation, that goes back to being a slave to our emotions and getting everybody else on our side. We're low EI when we're arrogant. But we have a silent confidence about us, then we can be confident and we just go out there and execute. So 9 power sources of confidence. Again, I'm Super Dave. Remember, if you don't plan to win, you plan to fail. Love to hear any questions, comments, or concerns in the chat that you have. Let's go play at the upper ranges of our ability, consistently, under pressure, in the biggest moments.